Some machines are built for war, others define it. The T-34 was not just a tank, it was a hammer that forged a new reality on the battlefields of World War II.
The Eastern Front was a theater of war unlike any other, a brutal landscape where only the fittest machines could survive.
In 1941, the German war machine seemed unstoppable, its panzers crushing everything in their path.
The Soviet Union was on the brink of collapse, desperate for a weapon that could halt the Nazi advance. That weapon was already on the drawing board, a secret project that would soon shock the world.
The design philosophy was simple yet revolutionary. Balance firepower, protection, and mobility in a single, mass-producible package.
The key was its highly sloped armor, which increased the effective thickness on deflected enemy shells.
Armed with a powerful 76.2mm gun, it could destroy any German tank in service at the time. Unlike its gasoline-powered rivals, the T-34 used a diesel engine, making it less prone to catching fire.
Its Christie suspension system allowed it to move quickly and smoothly across the rugged Russian landscape.
When German forces first encountered the T-34 in 1941, they were stunned to find their weapons ineffective against it.
Legendary German commanders like Heinz Guderian called the T-34 the best tank in the world and demanded their own version.
Despite its strengths, early T-34s suffered from mechanical reliability issues and a cramped two-man turret.
As the Germans advanced, the Soviets made the impossible decision to move their entire industrial base east of the Ural Mountains.
Thousands of trains carried factories, workers, and their families into the Siberian wilderness. In places like Chelyabinsk, soon known as Tankograd, gigantic new factories rose from the frozen ground.
As large numbers of men were deployed to the front, factories increasingly relied on women and younger civilian workers.
To speed up production, the design was simplified, and finished quality was sacrificed for quantity.
The Soviets achieved an industrial miracle, churning out thousands of T-34s a month by 1942.
As Joseph Stalin famously said, "Quantity has a quality all its own."
In the brutal Russian winter, the T-34's wide track gave it superior mobility over its German counterparts.
At the gates of Moscow in late 1941, fresh T-34 brigades played a crucial role in pushing the Wehrmacht back.
The T-34 became more than just a weapon. It was a potent symbol of Soviet defiance and resilience.
Based on combat experience, the design was continuously improved, adding a commander's cupola and better radios.
The 1943 model featured a new, larger hexagonal turret that improved crew efficiency and comfort.
In the meat grinder of Stalingrad, T-34s fought in close-quarters urban combat, a brutal battle of attrition.
Tanks were often built and immediately driven out of the factory doors directly into the fight.
During Operation Uranus, massed T-34 formations spearheaded the encirclement of the German Sixth Army.
To counter the T-34, Germany developed newer, heavier tanks, like the Tiger and the Panther.
The T-34's 76mm gun struggled to penetrate the thick frontal armor of these new German beasts at long range.
Soviet crews learned to use their numbers and mobility to outflank the heavier, slower German tanks.
By the summer of 1943, both sides were preparing for the largest tank battle in history near the city of Kursk.
The Battle of Kursk began with an earth-shattering artillery duel, followed by a clash of thousands of armored vehicles.
At Prokhorovka, T-34s charged German heavy tanks head-on in a suicidal but necessary tactic to close the distance.
The battle became a swirling melee, a chaotic close-quarters fight, where skill and courage mattered as much as armor.
Though losses were catastrophic on both sides, the Red Army held the field, halting the last major German offensive in the east.
Kursk proved that the T-34 needed a bigger gun to deal with the latest German armor effectively.
The solution was the T-34-85, fitted with a new 3-man turret and a powerful 85mm anti-aircraft gun.
The 85mm gun gave the T-34 the punch it needed to take on tigers and panthers at combat ranges.
With the arrival of the T-34-85, the hunter became the hunted. The balance of power on the Eastern Front had irrevocably shifted.
In the summer of 1944, the Soviets launched Operation Bagration, a massive offensive that shattered the German Army Group Center.
T-34 brigades executed deep operations, penetrating hundreds of miles into the German rear, causing chaos.
As the Red Army advanced westward, the T-34 became the symbol of liberation from Nazi occupation.
By late 1944, Soviet tank armies had crossed the pre-war borders and were pushing towards Germany itself. The final Soviet winter offensive in 1945 saw an unstoppable tide of armor rolling towards the Oder River.
The ultimate goal was now in sight, the capital of the Third Reich, Berlin.
The battle for Berlin was a savage fight, with T-34s facing fanatical resistance from SS units and Volkssturm militia.
The greatest threat in the city was the Panzerfaust, a simple but deadly anti-tank weapon issued to defenders.
Crews improvised by welding bed springs and other metal debris to their tanks to detonate shaped-charge warheads prematurely. The T-34s provided crucial direct fire support for the final assault on the Reichstag, the heart of Nazi power.
On May 2, 1945, Berlin surrendered. The war in Europe was effectively over.
By the end of the war, the Soviet Union had produced over 84,000 T-34 tanks of all variants.
It was the most produced tank of the war, and the second most produced tank of all time.
Its simple, rugged design made it far cheaper and faster to build than its complex German rivals.
The T-34's story didn't end in 1945. It continued to see combat in conflicts around the world for decades.
During the Cold War, it became an icon of Soviet military power, serving in Warsaw Pact armies.
From the sands of the Middle East to the jungles of Southeast Asia, the T-34 soldiered on.
Its revolutionary design principles influenced generations of post-war tanks, both Soviet and Western.
The T-34 proved that in a total war, simplicity, reliability, and mass production were superior to over-engineered complexity.
But the tank was only as good as its crew, the brave men and women who lived, fought, and often died inside its steel hull.
Today, thousands of T-34s stand on pedestals across Russia and Eastern Europe as silent memorials to the fallen.
Every year on Victory Day, restored T-34s roll through Red Square, a living testament to their legendary status.
The tank has been immortalized in films, books, and video games, cementing its place in popular culture.
To the Soviet people, it was the people's tank, a weapon built by their sacrifice that saved their nation from annihilation. From an engineering standpoint, it was a marvel of practical design, perfectly suited to the strategic needs of the Soviet Union.
It was the nemesis of the vaunted German panzers, proving that a good enough tank in massive numbers could defeat a technically superior foe.
Its strategic mobility allowed Soviet commanders to shift large armored formations quickly across the vast front line.
The chassis was incredibly adaptable, serving as the basis for a wide range of support vehicles and tank destroyers.
Born out of desperation, forged in the fires of total war, the T-34 became a legend. The clatter of its tracks was the sound of approaching liberation for millions in Eastern Europe.
It remains an enduring symbol of the Soviet contribution to the defeat of Nazi Germany.
The victory came at a terrible price, with tens of thousands of T-34s destroyed and their crews lost.
It was the workhorse of the Red Army, present in every major battle from Moscow to Berlin.
It was a flawed masterpiece, crude, uncomfortable, and unreliable at times, but it was exactly what was needed. In the final analysis, the T-34 was the single most decisive land weapon of the Second World War.
Now, they rest in museums, silent witnesses to the greatest conflict in human history. For those who fought in them, the T-34 is a memory of comradeship, terror, and ultimate triumph.
It was the iron fist of the proletariat, a weapon that proved that the industrial might of the Soviet Union could not be broken.
The legend of the T-34 will continue to inspire awe and respect for generations to come.
The T-34 didn't just change the course of a war, it saved a nation and shaped the modern world. It was truly a legendary machine.